Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing today? Timmy, how's your week been going?
The weather's nice. I'll tell you that much. Getting a new roof.
Yeah.
Pretty pumped about that. My middle son, he's finally put his stuff together, and he's got two big interviews coming up. So it's been a good week. Next week's gonna be better though, but
Was hail damage with the roof or
it was wind and hail damage. But
okay.
I mean, it was way back, in January. It's taking a little while to get it processed. But
Gutters too?
no gutters.
Okay. All right, cool. Ryan, how's the week?
Not filing insurance claims, so that's a plus. It's a pretty good week, man. Pretty good week. Stayed busy with work this week. Had a birthday party over the weekend. That was fun. You have as many kids as I do. It's like a birthday party every weekend, but next week's a big week next week.
Yep, big week.
Yep.
Yeah, we all got big weeks next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll all be together next Thursday.
We will.
So a few things about today. We always talk about, some little tidbits about today. So March 2nd, 2022. So today is National Stop Bad Service Day. It talks about rudeness, inattentiveness, and even lying. There are only some of the reasons Stop Bad Service Day, observed on the first Wednesday of the March, is crucial. The day is all about drawing attention to unpleasant customer service experiences from businesses and other organizations. We encourage everyone to try to nip this trend in the bud. So if anybody's hiding in the wall behind you, they need to improve their customer service.
Yeah, absolutely. That he's gone. But yeah, Sandy Japala.
Also, did you know today's National Banana Pudding Day? Man,
I don't eat banana pudding.
what?
For real. I
My
do not eat
goodness.
banana pudding. I don't like bananas. What do you?
Yes, I do. I'm banana pudding is one of my favorites. So, and
Peach cobbler
yeah, peach cobbler, good stuff. Also today got got to give some shout outs for some birthdays. There's some really important people in my life. There's two of them. One, the last 2 decades, this person has been there for me. He's just never seemed to go down. Was always in the clutch for me, and this person was really near and dear to my heart, and I can't go without giving Big Ben Rosenberger a shout out on his 40th birthday today. So Big Ben turns 40 on March the 2nd. And the other one's my mom. She turned 75. So no, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
So mom turned 75. Great day. Blessed to have such a wonderful mother. So cool chick. Been through a lot, and she's kind of like my Andy Dufresne at the end, where they talk about, Andy crawled through miles of poop and came out smelling like a rose. So that's the story of my mom. She's always, always been through a bunch, and I don't know a person who prays more than that lady right there. So I don't know where I'd be. So shout out to old Beverly Kay on 75th birthday. Continuing the trend. Timmy, you got a veteran spotlight for the week?
I do. It's Kenshin. You know what? I sent it to you guys. I thought somebody else was gonna read it.
Kitchen martial arts.
Yep, Kenshin. And they're in Huntersville, I believe. And it's a neighbor of mine. He's retired out of the Air Force, and he's got a little dojo down there. And it's not a little dojo, but he teaches leadership and life skills and all that stuff. And it's for adults and kids as well. And he retired out of the Air Force, and this is what he's doing now, and it's an awesome place. So if you're down in the greater Charlotte area, look it up. It's Kenshin. Kinchen.
You know what's bad is that when you sent that, I too, like Joel thought it was kitchen remodeling, kitchen remodel. I was like, oh, he knows somebody remodels kitchens. That's a good idea. Then I looked at the actual website. Pretty good website that your buddy has. Yeah, good thing they do down there, teaching martial arts to kids.
Yeah, I thought same thing. I was kitchen. I was like, he's doing karate, and is he like chopping up celery with his hands? He said, what's going on? Slicing fruit. So that's pretty cool. Appreciate the shout out, and we all been talking about finding our niche with this podcast. And a common theme we have among each other is help. We have no issues helping people. It's not about us. It's about it's what we're designed to do on earth is help other people. So we taking a different road for the first segment of this story is the common theme we have between the three of us is our military service, and we're all retirees. So we just wanted to start focusing on just a bit of things we've learned over the past 3 years with going through this retirement process. So Brian, I know this was your idea, and I'm sorry about my dog barking in the background. So
It's okay,
Brian,
but-
we can edit that part out, but Brian, tell us a little bit about your idea.
So yeah, I think that every week, for the first 15 minutes or so, we'll dedicate some time to helping people separating from the military, whether it's ETSing, retiring, the temporary disability list, the permanent disability list, MEB, whatever your process is for separating. I think we've helped enough people that we have a level of expertise in this area, and it's something I think that we've all been passionate about for well over 20 years, was helping other soldiers. So if we can focus on helping soldiers, sailors, airmen, even Marines, let's do it, man. Let's get some of the experience we have out there and learn from some of the mistakes we made. I mean, Timmy, you've been helping soldiers for 20 years, and you've made your share of
mistakes.
missteps,
Yeah.
missteps in your separation. I mean, what do you think, buddy?
No, absolutely. And I had you guys as my lean-ons, and if I didn't have that, I'd definitely been lost. But even with having you guys, there's some procrastination that I did that now that I look back on, that wish I would have changed a little bit different, and kind of took you. And I think we all retired about the same time. I think Brian, you retired a little bit later than us. Me and Joel, we did some same things at the same time. But yeah, if there was something out there that I could have listened to for 15 minutes and gave me some perspective. Oh wow, that would have been a huge help. That would have saved me a lot of time and heartache come down the road when I finally did retire. So.
Yeah. What about you, Joe? What do you think gives you validity in giving people advice in retiring?
Well, I think we're all three smart dudes, and we do our own homework, and we read and try to figure out things. But I think I probably would not be where I'm at without having a close circle of friends that shared information, and people that went before us, like Peter Chris and Rob McKendrick, and that went through the same processes and shared their notes and created, some type of continuity process and key points and tidbits. So I think that'd be, I start off with first tips is to anyone who's, once you go over 10, you're pretty much committed unless a great opportunity or a life-changing event comes your way. So it's never too early to start planning. We have some guides and some checklists we'll talk about, but is try to network with some people who are going through the process or have just completed the process, so you can start creating your own checklist of things you need to start looking at and start doing. And like Tim said, don't put it off. Don't, because it's only going to hurt you in the long run. It's only going to delay things, because retiring and doing what you got to do while you're still on active duty is much easier than when you're completely separated. We've all found that out.
Yep.
So it's never too early to start. What do you think, Brian?
Oh yeah, I think you're right. It's never too early to start. And I was very fortunate early in my career where somebody taught me to keep a copy of everything myself, right? Don't trust the electronic records of whether it's your health records in Alta or your, your Army records in iPerms. Keep a copy of everything, had my little, I love me book, but also had my medical book that had every time I'd been to a doctor's appointment or something, I kept it. I found that to be extremely beneficial. And then some of the things that you shared with me when you went through, you had some checklist you were using that I thought was very valuable to me that I used.
Yeah.
What
And
do you
I
think?
got those from McKendrick and Chris. It's just by that, they were a year, 18 months in front of me. So it was same thing as I just updated it and thought,
I
hey
think,
man, this is good enough to share with other people and send it to HRO and try to get the word out. So
but I think we're the benefit where we all kind of were in the same retirement area, and we're also active guard, so we all kind of. I mean, we spent many years together, so there's other guys out there and and ladies that don't have that as far as active duty and stuff like that, where they're transferring around and stuff like that. And yeah, the military's got tools out there and websites and all that, but when you hear it from somebody else and like the ins and outs, that's what's all about. Usually, I mean, yeah, you know what meeting you got to go to, and you know what you got to do this. You can have a checklist on it, but then it's that what you bring to that meeting or what you bring to that that when you go to that physical or what to say. I mean, there's some key elements that I think you guys specifically can help people out with. So I'm looking forward to hearing that.
yeah, Tim and I went to the Soldier for Life process at Fort Jackson together, and we were the only two AGR guardsmen down there with all a bunch of active duty retirees. And just the amount of knowledge we had already with the process, these guys were, it's
Clueless.
like they just like, hey, decided to retire yesterday and they came to this meeting and they were retiring way before we did. And I'm just like, you guys are in a world of hurt. They were banking on that VA check and the other side. I was just like, you guys
It's not
you're going to
there.
struggle, talking about, creating
That's
a financial tracker and stuff. I was just like,
That's the other thing. As far as this, me and you processed out of Fort Jackson. It's a trade out command, and they don't have retirees so much so that like Fort Bragg or other posts have. I think if I would have, me personally, I think that if I would have out processed, and it wasn't just that class, but the other part of out processing, especially the medical part and stuff like that, if I'd have done it at like Fort Bragg, I think there would have been a lot more stuff caught than it was. So much so at Fort Jackson, which is literally they got new recruits and they're at training schools. So they don't have a ton of people that are coming through there retiring so much so as like Fort Bragg or Campbell. I mean, there's obviously other bases that people go to, but
So let me ask you this, and for both of you, and then I'll tell you mine. What was the biggest shock to you after you retired? And just off the top of your head, if you could think of anything, Joe, what was your biggest shock when you retired?
my biggest shock moment was I was at Fort Knox. I was a ROTC instructor, and I had to go through. That's where the cadet command is, and this is early February 2019. Um, Sitting there in a room full of retirees and Class Bs, and I log into e-benefits, and I saw my VA award letter, and I never thought I would get to where I was at. I let's face it, I've not had the best luck with paperwork, with stop loss and bonuses. It's always seemed like I was a week or a day away, or someone had done the original document wrong and I've never had the best. So I was a pretty negative Nancy, pessimistic person. Like, okay, I have a goal. As long as I meet my goal, I'm fine. I just wanted to be able to draw two checks.
Yep.
Well, and then I saw the number and I got up out of the class and walked into the hallway and literally did, I did a happy dance. Might have got a little teary eyed because I knew what that meant for me, my family, in the long term of my career, retired career. Yeah, what it would mean for the hopefully I live another 40, 50 years, what it would mean for that. So that was my biggest shock and awe moment.
That's a good one. What about you, Timmy? What was your big shock?
So, when I got out and the job search wasn't, I mean, I had thought I had these locked in jobs, and then it come through. But anyways, I went to work at a Fortune 500 at Lowe's corporate, and was working up there. And and I'm trying to tie it into what we're talking about. And so I was I think I had got 40%, and that's something that if you listeners or tens of listeners might not know is like the 50% is, the number. Because when you get 50% VA, then you get your VA check and you get your retirement check. Whereas at 40%, and which I had for, about a year and a half, a year going into my retirement, is I basically just they take that out of your retirement as tax free. So I was working there and COVID just started, and I got that letter that said that I had 50%. Oh my gosh, man, I was so happy. And I got it like the day before, and the next day they called me in to go to this meeting. I go to the meeting, and it was a meeting of me, just let me know that I had been let go due to COVID and stuff like that. And it was like, no, I'm good. It's like, I'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. And let's be honest, I wasn't real happy where I was at anyway. But that was the oh shucks happy moment. And then there were some shocking moments where, like, you got all these skills and all this stuff that you transfer over and you can put in a resume. And then, I went to, I think there was 2 interviews where I went to like the second and third interviews, high paying jobs. And it was just like, you don't have the HR positions. And they were saying that, you don't have the manufacturing experience. And I'm like, manufacturing experience is like, what's the difference in, people on the floor compared to, soldiers or stuff like that. That was a shocking part where I didn't. It hurt a little bit, but I understood. And then it was like, hey, let's rebound and try to figure out what my path's going to be.
I would say that my most shocking thing was, and I think I actually discovered it right before I retired, right after you retired, Joel, and that was the CRSC, right? The combat related specialty compensation, which is not the same thing as what you get, Tim, which is, once you get 50, you get CRDP, which is concurrent retirement disability pay. When I discovered CRSC, that was a game changer, because I had an ex-wife that got a large portion of my retirement. However, she was not entitled to CRSC. Made a huge difference in my quality of life because I no longer had to pay that money because I was now receiving a tax-free CRSC payment that also helped me dramatically filing my taxes at the end of the year because it's another tax-free payment. So if you get this VA disability pay and that's tax-free, CRSC is another tax-free entitlement, and changed my life dramatically. So that was my biggest shock. And maybe we can talk about some of those packets, next episodes. And
yeah.
If I had
Or
to put
maybe
a number 2 shock, that was the same thing when I got, because the packet was very simple. Followed the instructions. It led into so many gray areas that you could include things as long as you can form a sentence and use punctuation and explain and provide details. To see that, I was like, holy moly, I'm, you know, served my country, I did my time, and now I'm going to make X amount of dollars for the rest of my life and never leave my front door. That's a great comfort waking up every morning. People complain, and I I'm very thankful, truly thankful. But yeah, like I said, I had heard about CRC, but I didn't understand it either because I'd heard about it through someone who was talking about how I got, it was kind of like locker room talk about this hidden secret to help people out. I was like, man, yeah, I don't know. But then you were the one we talked, like, hey, we need to do this. And you did it. And I did mine maybe a week or two after that. And it was really good for me.
It's really good, yeah. So yeah, I think maybe if you want, maybe next week we explain the difference between the two, and maybe we can give some examples of how to initiate that process.
Yeah. So for our tens of listeners out there, if you got any questions, please, there, multiple ways to reach us through Gmail, social media. We've got a plethora of stuff we can share with you, and processes and things that might help you and may not. Please reach out. But if any one of us can give you your own advices, you got to be your own advocate. You're probably gonna get more no's than you are yeses, but some of those yeses really change the game. So don't quit, don't give up, and just don't quit without asking somebody. I'm dealing with a guy right now that he got it and just rolled over and took it, and now trying to fix some stuff it's gonna cost him some money, but he's gonna come out better on the end if he would have, not giving up so easy. So, but please reach out. I mean, we are all very active on social media. So if you need something, or if we can be of help, maybe refer you down the road. I mean, we know a lot of people. We're friends with a lot of people that I think we can all say that if we don't know the answer, we can probably help you find the answer. So, so changing gears. Y'all want to change gears?
Yeah.
Ready.
Just for the other listeners that have no idea what we're talking about, that this is probably going to break off into a different podcast. I believe we talked about where we do like 15 minutes and stuff like that, because I know there's a lot of people that have no idea what we're talking about. But
so if you're not in the military, maybe we can put a disclaimer at the beginning that says, hey, if you are not interested in retirement, fast forward to 4 minutes.
50,
Well, I'm
Right.
gonna use one of my least favorite terms is that, well, there's a caveat to that, because who really does not know a veteran or has a grandparent or somebody who has served that they have a healthcare issue, or maybe there's a burial issue or something that maybe they'd be like, hey, I heard this really awesome podcast with these 3 good looking dudes. Let me ask them, and maybe they know the answer. So
That's a good point.
I think it's worth listening to. If you don't get anything out of the first like 27 segments we do, then you can stop listening.
That's a weird number, but okay. I'll go with that. So where are you switching gears to there, boss man? Where are we going?
Well, there's a lot going on in the world today. I know we've all seen the Ukraine issue and what's happening with Russia.
What are you talking about?
But
where's Ukraine?
It's in Europe. So all 3 of us went to Moldova.
Uranus?
Yeah. The Iranians. Uranians.
That's Iranians. That's what he said.
We're going to get to that part too.
Okay, guy.
So, we've all been to Moldova.
Yeah.
And
can we tell that story?
Yeah, no. Which one? Which one do we want to tell? Because I got plenty of you with senior leadership getting in trouble too. So
it's true.
We've all been there. So, Brian, if you would, will you give a description of our relationship to Moldova?
So I did not go with you guys to Moldova.
Right.
I was not on your trip.
You missed out.
Sent to Moldova. Oh no, I did not miss out.
You definitely missed out.
Really good. But I've talked to a lot of people and they don't even know where Moldova is. They've never even heard of Moldova. It's a very small country right between Romania and Ukraine. My experience in Moldova was there to help them develop some human resource computer applications, and it was a good experience, man. Like people are the nicest people I've ever come across in my life, and um, they like to drink their cognac, and they make really good wine
with lunch. With lunch, by the way.
at
And
lunch.
vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the first time I ever went somewhere and like the breakfast was just super weird. Like it was like fish for breakfast. Who the hell
Yeah.
eats fish for breakfast? If it's not biscuits and gravy, this old boy ain't eating it,
Yeah. Dried meat and cheeses.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, I would love to hear the story that Timmy's talking about that you said.
Can I tell it?
I would
No,
love to hear it.
no.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
No. No.
Well, I mean, I don't care if you
you've
tell
heard
it.
it.
So I'll just give you, I think I was fortunate to make the most trips to Moldova. Had a blast over there. The people were very, it's a very poor region. They're very oppressed. Used to be part of what Russia is today. There's a Russian side, there's a Moldovan side, and I think they formed in '91. Had a lot of great experiences training, whether it was military police, their riot control police, training their field artillery units. Actually sent some of American artillery pieces over there, and was really on the Moldova Ukraine border. Looking at Transnistria, which is the separatist, Russian unit, and it just it takes me back to, not to go down a rabbit hole, but that was World War II was fought there, and it just going through where Russians were killed by Germans. It was just like it's pretty amazing place, but man, it's a sketchy place, dude. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty sketchy.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? You mentioned it is they're very similar as they have a separatist region as well, just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ukraine had their
Ukraine
two separate
and
regions.
Christian. Yep.
Transnistria. So
And it's separated by a river. I mean, but over
That's
there they're
correct.
like,
Yeah.
we don't mess with them. They don't follow laws or nothing like that. They're
Yeah.
their own people, and they do what they want.
Yeah, it's basically, when you leave here, take a right. If you go left, you're on your own. We can't do anything for you.
Right.
You're like, my passport won't help me. No, bro, you're done.
You
And
disappear.
it's in the middle
And they
of
were
nowhere
serious.
in a 15 pack.
Oh no, it's serious.
So
We ran
Timmy
across
and I,
KGB. Yeah,
we went out. Well, this was 2008, I believe.
it was a long time ago.
We got to go over. They were doing basically some MP lanes training and some other stuff. So we got to go over. We stayed a week. Had an amazing time. Not just interacting with the Moldovan soldiers, but while they're in uniform, but out of uniform. We did some cool wine tours in the big wine cellar, which Putin has his own cave there. He stores all of his wine there. Pretty cool. I won't steal Tim's thunder, but tell us your version of what happened in Moldova.
So we get there. First of all, it's a flight. Like we
Hey,
fly.
It's my mom's birthday, so hopefully she's never gonna listen to these stories.
No.
It's cool.
I'll be kind. So you fly over there, and like we fly to Germany, and then there's a layover for like 12 hours, and then we gotta find Moldovan air. None of us are in Moldova, so we find this. It's one little terminal in Frankfurt, Germany. When we go up there and we're checking in and all that, and like you walk across like the runway to get on this plane, get on there, and there wasn't goats or nothing on there, but it was pretty close.
I believe there was a live chicken in the aisle beside me.
So we fly to Moldova, and we get in there, and you get off, and it's capital. Get off, and it's just like you would think in a third world country, where you get off and you go into the airport. We literally immediately go to the embassy, and you got the Marines there, and they tell us like, hey, KGB's here. There's some soccer tournament going on. Don't go to this area. Don't go to this area, and we'll be good. And there's only was there like 14 of us? There wasn't many of us. I was going over as signal as communications. So we do all that. We go back to our hotel, check in. It's a nice hotel. We go in the hotel, and the first thing I do is like, hey, that little park they said not to go to, let's go to this park. And so where the soccer game's at. and we see these guys in suits, and they're just, nobody else is dressed in suits except these guys. And they said, KGB's gonna watch you. When you see them, they want you to see you. And if they don't want you to see you, you're not gonna see them. I've seen these same two dudes like, I don't know, 20 times. Fast forward, we have our Moldovan officer. He's basically our guide. So every morning we drive out to this training site in this bus or van.
He's our translator too.
Yeah. And so we go out, that night, the next night or something like that, and the next day we're going to our site. We tell them is like, yeah, we paid $20 for a drink, stuff like that. Like, oh no. What was it? Popov.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Popov.
No, Popa. 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 Popa.
He's like, no, you come to my place. So when it came down to it, it was me, Joel, and we had Hummel. Nobody else would go with us. That was it, right?
Andy was there.
Andy did not go.
He went the first time.
He did not go no, he did not. He didn't go when we went to the hostile where there was like, they have these tall buildings. Like we pull up.
Windows are covered in newspaper.
Yes. And they're like 25-story buildings, just in dark. It's shady as hell. Oh, we pull up, the taxi gets stopped. Popov says, no, that's good. It's good. We go in there, we go in this little bar.
I will say, Tim's in the parking and said, Popo, are we safe here? Are we good? I do remember that part.
Yeah, he said, we're good. So we go in. We're the only ones in there except another like couple and then like the bartender. So I go up. I was like, I'll get the first round. So I go up to the bar. It says 4 shots of vodka, whatever, and they're like, no, we don't do shots. We do bottles. So I got a bottle and then a craft of like orange juice and like a generic Red Bull. We go back down. We sit down. We're drinking that, and they're playing like techno music. And Popov comes over and he's like, come on, let's dance.
Wait. So let me set the scene. This place is kind of like a gas station deli.
Yes.
The bar we're in. It's very similar, right?
And there's pillars in the middle of the dance floor too.
Yeah, and instead of like peanuts, we're eating fish jerky. That's their like bar food. So go ahead.
So he's like, come on, guys, let's dance. And I was trying to explain to him in our culture in America, we don't really dance unless, there's girls there, guys don't really dance together. And so Joel he's like, man, I'll come dance with you. So he goes out there and they're doing this. And so while Popov's doing this, he hits his hand hits Joel in the face. Now I can see Joel up there and Joel's like, no. Don't do that again. Or it's going to be bad for you. And he did it again. And Joel reaches back, smokes this dude in the head. His head, like he goes immediately down. He's not a big dude. Joel's a big guy. He goes down, hits his head on the back of this damn pillar that's there. And it almost became an international incident where I thought we were about to go to war with Russia way before all this stuff going on now because he knocked him out. We ended up having to drag this dude out, put him in a taxi, comes back. I pay the bill. That was our deal. Joel says, I'll let him sleep in my room because he was knocked out. Couldn't figure out where he lived at. No, I mean, he heard him. And he's going to stay in his room. And then I pay the bill. And we had 2/5 of vodka by that point. I think my total bill was like $22.
I know. You got a bottle of vodka and a Sunny D for like $4.
Yeah, a whole fifth.
So, Tim, I do need to ask 2 questions.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1. Do you think that Joel caused the invasion of Ukraine?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Which airport would you prefer to fly into? Trenton, New Jersey, or Moldovan Air?
Moldovan was a little bigger, but that's another story for another day.
Me too. I would prefer to fly into Moldova than Trenton, New Jersey any day.
That trailer. Holy
I missed that trip.
I know. I apologize.
It was to a casino.
No.
And a bar.
Good, yeah, because I don't. Because that matters. That matters. I'm still sore. I'm still pretty sore about that subject anyway. So.
I
But-
Yeah,
apologize.
you brought it up.
So let me real quick, part 2 of this story. So we, the Moldovan soldiers are conscript, right? They're forced. They given a few options when they're becoming a male adult, and one of them is the military. So they don't get treated very well. They don't get paid very well. So this lieutenant who's with us,
He's
you know,
getting like
a
12 bucks a
lieutenant,
month.
a lieutenant in the army at that age makes a pretty good amount of money. So he was not very well off, right? So we had no issues with taking care of him. Is that my noise? Okay, I just hear. Yeah, there it goes. So when the incident occurred, we were trying to find. We thought Popa lived because he said this is his home place, right? So none of the people would say, "Yeah, we'll take care of this guy," right? So we
Right.
take him all the way back. We try to even drop him off at like their barracks, which is the Ministry of Defense. We were going to just drop him off and be like, "Hey, you got to take care of your boy." Well, he goes back to the hotel. He does some damage in the hotel. Pretty sure the KGB officers came to us in the hotel lobby and threatened us to say, "Hey, you're either we know who this guy is who did the damage. You either pay for it or he's going to pay for it." And we knew he couldn't pay for it, so we easily took care of the bill. Well, comes to find out, he lived in the barracks in the apartment building right beside the bar. So they take him all the way back. So
I would like to ask you one of the same questions I asked Tim. Do you think you caused the invasion of Ukraine?
hold on, let me find a place to cut. I don't know if Timmy, can you hear us?
He's working on it.
I can hear you. I can't talk. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Okay, so I know we can try to edit that out. I think I know? No, I didn't have anything to do with the invasion of Ukraine. But now that I think about it, I know you're probably going to go into something we don't know, that little tidbit you found out about what Russia's trying to do.
No, but
No, but you definitely could have caused it if we wouldn't have fixed the Popov issue.
correct. That's what I'm getting at, is that had you never been to Moldova, which sits on the border of Ukraine, and caused the drama that you caused with the KGB, Ukraine may still be just as they were prior to Russia invading. That's my thought. But the KGB was involved with your visit. Didn't have KGB be involved with mine. So and I didn't assault somebody from another country.
I didn't assault. I defended myself. I
He did
warned
defend
him.
himself.
I
He got
warned
the
him
points.
twice. I took care of that. I bet he, one, never remembered the incident, and two, he probably thought when we left, man, those guys, there's some good dudes right there. They took care of me. I mean, that guy ate well and drank well. Probably the most
Joel
he
had
ever
him
has
sleep
in his
in his
life.
room, in his hotel room, and I think he destroyed the TV in there or something. Like, I mean, there was a lot more to that story, but
So was that
remember
the time?
he busted the mirror in the elevator.
glass, yeah, the mirrors in the elevator, and yeah, we had to come up with money. The Russians were like, "No."
That's in the lobby at the Jolly Allen.
Was that the same time on that trip that you two guys were in the hot tub together sending selfies? That same trip?
That was a different trip to Moldova.
Oh, that was in Moldova though?
Oh, I meant to say Michigan.
That wasn't even Moldova?
No.
No, there's
Damn,
the same trip though. There was a stuffed pig that there might be a picture of me out with no shirt on.
No, but neither of you guys had the shirt on in the hot tub with your arm around each other. That was Michigan, not Moldova?
Yeah, I don't think our arms were around each other.
They were not.
We were very close.
We got stuck at a rest stop for like 2 hours with nothing but moonshine, and our keys were locked in the truck.
There's a hot tub
Not my
at
fault.
the truck stop?
Not my fault.
There's a hot tub at the truck stop? What kind of truck stop are you at?
We were at a rest stop. Tim locked the keys in the car. I'm trying to poop. He's texting me, "Oh, you got the keys?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm pooping."
Who was
He's like,
driving? Who had
"Oh,
the keys?
who gave you the keys when they got out of the vehicle?"
No, you didn't give them to me. You threw them in the middle console, which I didn't. You didn't hand them to me.
How I'm still trying to get over how there's a hot tub at the rest stop.
The hot tub was not at the rest stop.
That was at my brother.
This was at the end of our long journey. We were like Frodo and Samwise Gamgee. We just made it to the end to throw the ring in. We're just like, oh, look, a hot tub. Let's get in it. It's midnight, Michigan. It's 30 below, but this hot tub that Mac or Timmy's brother-in-law turned the heat up. We jumped in like, hey, he set us up. We should.
We
be
flew
good
the
stewards.
next time we went. Just so you
Wait,
know.
wait,
Yeah.
So he took the picture of the two of y'all together sitting arm in arm in the hot tub?
That was
He was in bed.
selfie.
He was in bed.
That was a selfie.
Yeah. Tim has long arms.
Don't be
Okay.
jealous, Brian. Don't be jealous.
I'm not jealous that I was.
Think a
I
little
just
bit.
wish I
I
had
think a
that
little
photo
bit.
to share. I wish I could see. I have a visual of it in my mind. The two of you, arm in arm.
We can
Okay.
recreate that photo. I'm very secure in my masculinity. I think we did it twice because I've been up there twice, and we spent a lot of time in that pool. It was a pool, not a hot tub.
Y'all did.
It's a big pool, dude.
Oh, y'all were pretty close to being a big pool. You did what twice? Took pictures, or y'all did something different? Who do you go to Disney with?
I went to Disney with my family. I don't.
Yeah,
I went
my
to Disney
family.
with anybody else.
That's pretty good, y'all.
Yeah, that was quick. How you caught me off guard there. I mean, so speaking of Disney and Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy, there was the State of the Union address last night, and our favorite Goofy guy was on. I mean, I'm not the best speaker, and I babble, but I'm pretty sure he's got some mental issues going up there because the way he just stops his speech and slurs and forgets what he's saying and misspeaks, it's just not a good look. So I don't know. I didn't listen to the entire speech. I just some clips here and there and where he misspoke. And the one thing I really don't like, it doesn't matter if left or right who's speaking, it's the standing up, the applauding, the sitting there, that's what drives me nuts. I can't get through it. It doesn't matter if it was, my all-time hero trying to speak. I just can't, there's so many agendas going on. If you look at, just open up Twitter and the amount of Republicans that were talking about, vaccines and masks to get into the meeting, it just stop. Just take one for the team. Don't make it about you. Let's listen to what the man has to talk, what he has to say. See, what I mean, there's a lot going on in the world today. So it's just hard to stomach just the way it's kind of like the Oscars, to me. I just can't. It's just a room full of fake people that I don't understand how they've made it to that level, how they've gotten that support. But yeah, Brian, did you listen to it?
I did listen to probably 5 to 10 minutes of it. I like you. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt when I listen to stuff like that, and I'm not. I would say if someone said, "Hey, what's your political ideology?" I would say I'm a center right guy, right? Like, do what you want to do in your own house. When it comes to fiscal, I'm more of I lean a lot more right when it comes fiscally. But yeah, I listen to it. Like you, a couple things I can't stand. I cannot stand the applause. That's why I only listen to about 10 minutes of it because it drives me crazy. Every 3 words, it seems like they're standing up and applauding, no matter who is president. The other thing I can't handle, and I've noticed it even in the previous administration, is like how the vice president and the speaker of the house are right behind them. Like, God, that would be such an awkward position to be in, knowing that, you're not the person speaking, but, everybody's looking at you and you're just supposed to sit there without any facial expressions, or if you do make facial expressions, you're going to be
It's gonna be
criticized no matter
clipped, yeah,
what.
and there's gonna
Yeah.
be a meme. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
Yeah. Like,
You
I would
blink and they're
hate to
like,
be
oh,
in
they're
that position.
asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would hate to be in that position. And, I'm no fan of, um, you know, the current Speaker of the House. I think, some stuff she says is bad, crazy, but I would hate to be in her position sitting in that damn chair, right? Like, this is a no-win situation. You can't win in that situation. So, didn't take a whole lot out of it, but yeah, I would say that that would be one of my worst or least desirable positions, is to sit in that chair behind the president speaking.
True. And not to change the subject completely, but I mean, she's in her early 80s. I mean,
81. She's
I
81.
mean,
I actually Googled
when
it last night when I saw her.
let's just face the facts. She makes it to 85 in her life. When she's got to be extremely busy. And at what point did she just say, I need to stop doing this? I got a family, grandkids, maybe great grandkids. It's just, I
It's a
applaud
money
her
thing.
service, but yeah.
No, I well, so like appreciate what any politician does, because you can't win. You're going to get criticized no matter which side of the aisle you're on. You're going to be criticized by a large majority of population. I tell people often that I learned that real quick when I had to pick meals for everybody, right, for a weekend, and it was like, that's a no-win situation. So I got tired of hearing people complain. So I was like, all right, you pick meals this weekend, and then it was, hold on, man, you can't make anybody happy here. So
Yeah. It's kind of like
what
being on a board.
school board,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know all about it. You've been on the school board, and you're never going to make everybody happy. But yeah, she's 81, and the reason I don't think she retires, and a lot of these long-time career politicians is, her husband has made a lot of money in the stock market, and I think that, in my personal opinion, they get a lot of
I think
insider
that
trading. Like, they get some information that the average person doesn't. When it comes to electric vehicles for the entire government, I think her husband made, uh, a few $1,000,000 off of options in Tesla. So just my thoughts why she's 81 and still doing it. It's not about service to country anymore. Maybe more about her self-ego and the money that can be made from the knowledge you gain sitting in one of those committee chairs.
Timmy, you still alive? I know you're having some technical difficulties.
He's on mute right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
We were just talking about
No, I heard all that. So
ages
I
of our senators and
I agree
representatives.
too. I mean, you can look at a lot of these politicians, and like they come in and they don't have a lot of money, and then all of a sudden they come out and they have a lot of money, and that's obviously it can't be from donors and all that stuff. It's from the stock market and investing in right stuff. But I mean, if you're come on, man, if that's not insider trading, that they need to fix that. They definitely need to fix that, and that's not one party compared to another.
Nope.
Both parties do that crap.
Absolutely.
And that stuff needs to stop.
Yeah. That
It's true.
Shouldn't be a career politician come out rich. That's garbage.
Oh.
You're not serving your country doing that. You're literally doing it for profit, and that's ugly.
Yeah, I can tell you stories about state government that I know firsthand, and it's
if you're
dirty
going
at
in
all levels.
I'm pretty sure Joel's. You're not sitting on no Board of Education to make money. I mean, when it comes down to it, but these politicians that are doing it and making all this money on it and staying in there forever and just getting this insider trading stuff. No, it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. You look at, I mean, their salaries are public record and you do the math. I mean, it doesn't add up to,
Bernie Sanders.
yeah.
Bernie Sanders, there's no way he has that many houses and all that money. Senators.
You don't know what you're talking about.
They don't make that much money. I mean, so where's the money come from? It's not like his wife's a CEO somewhere. He's wrote books or something like that. And
well, so people that book ads for politicians get a kickback. Yeah, you should know more about this than I do. But so they pay their spouses for these jobs of like booking ads, and so they get this kickback of people can donate to their cause, or donate to their campaign. The campaign can write a check to buy an ad, and then their wife or spouse will receive that from their job because they booked the ad. It's a big money shell game, dude.
yeah, but Brian, they're making money off the stock market. I mean, that's where they're.
Oh, definitely. They make money there too. But I'm saying that there's, you brought up Bernie Sanders. I guarantee his wife has probably got some job dealing with his campaign somewhere or doing something affiliated with his campaign.
That's taking the campaign funds out as part of their salary.
Legally.
Yeah,
Legally. Not saying it's
absolutely.
I ain't saying it's ethical. Ethical and legal.
I
Totally
guarantee she's overpaid for whatever she's doing.
right.
Very true. Yeah.
My 21-year-old son, he's like, Dad, how did they get away with this? And I was like, that's a good question, son. I mean, who do you ask? Do you ask the politicians? I mean, who's going to stop it? Right? I mean, it's been going on for a long, long time. Who stops it? Because the politicians are the ones that vote on it, so they're not going to stop it.
They're not going to set term limits either.
No, goddamn course.
Yeah, I mean, why? That just seems like. All right, I will say I understand that the only people who can change that rule are the people who are elected in the rule. Because I don't think the people voting can make that change on term limits.
Can't, no.
That would be a great. We all do these local elections. You turn to page 3 or 4, and there's like a bunch of questions about local stuff, and you're like, oh, I didn't do my homework. So it just seems like, you should not be. I mean, President Biden was 41 years in office. He spent a long time before he was elected to be the president. And
Bernie
what has he
Sanders has
done?
never had a real job. Neither is Joe Biden.
Oh, I think they fought that. He painted sometime, or he was
Who
a teacher. Bernie, but I mean, it's not a real.
He never had a job, and once he became the mayor, that was his first real job. And I mean, he's been in politics. Joe Biden.
He's not the only one. Yeah, there's a bunch.
No, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
It's both parties. And a lot of these people, they get in, and it's nearly impossible to beat them for whatever reason. Donations, advertisements, whatever. But man, it's crazy. They should not be able to be doing that job for 30, 40 years. There should be a retention control point, like they have in the military, right?
Yeah. 20,
this age, this number of service, like, hey, you got to go. If you're not the Speaker of the House, you got to go at 20 years, right? Like whatever that number is. But
right, you got to make some progression, and then it's got to be. You got to go into a review board starting your 18th year. Yeah. Same thing. It's just like, okay. All right, we're giving you 2 more years and that's it. You're done.
You got to go.
I mean, I know you would be a lame duck at that point, but there's got to be a cap. I mean, there's just no way that there's no way that those people that are elected that long stay in touch with the people they're representing.
And on top of that, that they haven't been, touched by somebody that's given them. I'm just saying somebody that's got influence on them, that's had influence for a while. Once they got that influence, You can't. I mean, there's skeletons. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm sure Nancy
Yeah.
and all these people's got some skeletons where these people from these big farm or big companies, like they're in their back pocket. And they're like, dude, like they own them at this point. And then where do you go from there? So like you can't break it off and say, hey, I'm done, and maybe even they try to get out of it, but they can't. But no, it's
I
got to
don't
be
think
term limits.
I don't think there's a job or a position or an office that you can do for that long that at some point you don't lose empathy, right? Like if you're working
Yep.
with the public every day and that's your job, ID cards for retirees, right? You can do that every day. And at first you're going to be pumped and you're going to love it and you're going to do it every day. But at some point you're going to get tired of people coming in complaining about ID cards that are retired, right? And you're going to
Yeah.
lose that empathy.
There's
And
CEOs of companies that can't stay that long. I mean, look at Apple, and I mean, he got left and had to come back because he got that hunger again, and comes back, but he's got the hunger again. You
I would say
can't
that
stay at the same position.
the best way I can relate it is the soldier that joins National Guard and goes to basic training, right? They go to basic training, they come back, and they come back to their home unit. You know, they're full of discipline and
Oh,
grit,
yeah.
and you know,
So ready to do it.
and you got this old crusty veteran that's hanging on to. It's like, hey, whatever you got going on right now, don't lose it. Don't forget it. Don't remember this. And by about their second year drills and AT, they're just like,
Be down.
everything, every desire they had to change the world or do good is kind of like, I'm just here for the paycheck. I'm not saying that's the same way, but it's just like, hey, I signed up, I'm going to keep serving. Then, you get hooked in with the re-election or re-enlistment, you keep on going, it's just, you keep dragging it out. You still want to do some good, but you ain't going to take a whole lot of ownership. And
You're not going to
you
be
kind of,
hungry. You're not going
yeah,
to do that high charge. And I think that's what even people in like the people that worked at, Ford Motor Company that do it for 25 years, they do the same thing every day. They just get, and then it's a paycheck. They're not excited about it by any means. And they're not giving you their best production. But I think in a regular job or some other job, even in you guys' careers, you do about, I don't know, some people's different time, but 2 to 4 years, and you got that hard charging, and then you get to that that plateau where you take it where you want. There's got to be something else you can do, whether moving up in the company or switching positions where it's a change, or maybe you get new employees or new projects, but you've got to change it up, because I think it just, and the same with politics.
yeah. Well, it's kind of like the older progression in the Army too. You used to be like meet your E5, E6, and you got a temporary duty assignment where you're recruiter, instructor, drill instructor, kind of give you a change of pace, and we refine some skills, and then you came back and you moved from either a staff position or you're still on the line unit, or you're in the headquarters position. So it's kind of, you had some yin and yang in there. Go ahead, Brian.
before we leave the subject of politics, one thing that should be mentioned that is also dirty and corrupt as all get out is, how House committee assignments are assigned to what group you sit on, whether it's foreign arms or whatever. It's by how much money you can raise for your party. That's how they assign those seats to those high priority committees, and that's where you get the most kickback, right? If you're in the Foreign Intelligence Committee, trust me, you're going to know if one of these defense contractors are about to make a lot of money.
Yep, and that's where you make money. But that's
beforehand.
also your retention, though, too. You get on them parties, and then
Right.
you're incumbent. You're like, dude, I sit in this committee.
I got to raise
Rid of me.
money. So they spend more time raising money for their party than actually fighting the cause for any of us, whatever that cause is,
Agree.
whichever
Agree.
side you lean on. But yeah, it's how much money you raised is determined how profile this high seats you get on a particular committee. It's dirty as hell. All right, I'm done, Doug. I'm done about it.
No. Well, I can see that not so much as far as financially, but for the knowledge of companies and other things that can help you as being a part of a committee. But yeah, there's some shady stuff going on that, just like things we don't know. We could probably have a politician on here that says, well, did you know this? Or did you know this? And you're just like, this is some crazy. No wonder you're your portfolios and the millions and trillion or billions of dollars, and you got beach houses, you know, it's just it's asinine, absolutely asinine.
Well,
So
let me ask you this though. You sitting on a school board before, you enlightened me that some of these schools, when they were requiring masks, the school boards were requiring masks, it's because they were informed that they could be sued and held liable if they did not enforce the mask mandate, right? Like, that's crazy. Most people don't know that.
that's correct. Yeah, if you didn't go with what the government was mandating, right? They changed a lot of the, so they called it the toolkit. What they rent, when they had you should is not meaning you will. That's the thing. If it says you should do this, that means it's open for interpretation. But when they say you will and you don't, and then something happens directly because you don't, then you're directly liable for uh, you know a student's death, a teacher's death, or some other things that could go on. But it's just one of those things where you really had to read and ask questions and ask people who are on, our board luckily has a lawyer on there, and we have a lawyer advisor who really understands and can interpret and explain to us what it means and compares it to other districts. So it's, you know, you you definitely thinking of the student and the teacher, but you always gotta, in the back of your head, gotta try to think, well, you know, what if we make the wrong decision, something goes bad. I'm a volunteer. I didn't sign up to go to jail just because I'm voting a certain way on something I feel passionate about. So definitely
But
tricky.
yeah, I mean, I do not envy or desire that position. I've never ran for those office, but a lot of respect for you, buddy. I mean, you sat there and you probably took a beating from parents that you didn't deserve. You may not have wanted to make some of those decisions, but proud of you for being able to stand up and do that kind of stuff, man. Good job.
Well, I'm not a politician. I don't want to equate politics with, what going on with the school. In my opinion, it's a lot of facts versus opinion, or facts versus feelings. Um, but we have a large school, lots of families, so you got to take in account what's what's good for the majority, what's good for the group versus what you feel is good for, a small percentage. Um, it's came in the middle of COVID, so nothing's been real easy. Nothing's like you said, been a lot of unhappy, a lot of we've had just as many good emails as we've had bad emails. And the bad always sting much more than the good. I mean, that's just human nature. But it's 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 amazing the amount of influence social media has, and the amount of misinformation that is put out. Hearsay is terrible. It's just like we say in the military. We spend 90% of our time on 10% of the people. I spent 90% on my time putting out fires created by 10% of the people who spread
Joe,
bad stuff.
Joe, you said you're not a politician, and our group. Oh, we had high hopes for you to be the politician because let's be honest. I mean, you've got
You're the only one that could do it.
yeah,
I know.
and you got beat down from this damn school board, where at least it was the point where, and I still think there's high hopes for you, dude. We've got a committee together that's, oh man, you're gonna do, you could do some great things.
I
But
might have it up here, but in the old heart, I don't have
I
it.
know,
I don't have it.
it does. It's a wear and tear, and
I
so
like to say too many curse words to people, and there's so many people in there that I would never be one to just slap my resume out to someone else to prove that I know what they're talking about. But you have people that have, I won't say they've done nothing, and that they have not done a whole bunch of anything. You know, you're a principal of a high school. Okay, high school is 10 level skill. You are a 10 level subject matter expert, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell me about forming teams and bonding teams and developing youth. Don't tell me. Don't. I will literally want to.
You said 10 level.
Well, it's
20
yeah.
level. It's not 40 level. Well, I mean, like a drill instructor
know,
is
I
a
get-
10 level subject expert. That's all they're teaching. So it's
Well,
You
I
are
have
hope,
no-
though, man.
but half the stuff they're teaching is not practical, man. Like my son was at home and he's 17, needed help with some math homework. Man, you forget that shit.
yeah.
Like
You're not
2 hours
using that
after you
every
do it.
day.
Like as soon as
Yeah.
you graduate, you forget half that math they taught you. And he's in there trying to plot or something and X and Y axis. And I'm like, dude, if it don't involve writing a check or balancing a budget, man, I don't do it. I don't even know why they teach it anymore.
Right. My son just the youngest one just did his SAT or ACT. I forget which one he did. He just did yesterday, which would have been Tuesday for our listeners. But he went in there and he's like, "How'd you do?" And I asked him. He's like, "I don't know." And he's like the math, and he's above me in math, and I think I'm pretty high in math. And he's just like, it's just so many areas of math that, again, once you learn it, like you said in school, you're not going to use it. I mean, common math, math, all that stuff, yes. And there's definitely some algebra you're going to use and everyday skills and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff you're not using. But there's so many areas, and they're testing that. And so he thinks he did well. We'll see what he does. But
So I know we're running long in time, but my math cutoff, if it's got a letter in the math problem, I'm not doing it.
You're done.
If the equal sign is in the middle and there's like an equal amount of stuff on one side, I'm done, right? If you have like division and it's got a little squiggly line and other stuff in it, I can't help you because it's not real or relative in life today. I would love for us all to go retake the ACT and SAT and see what our scores would be today, because
Have you used a TI-84 calculator in the last, I don't know, 20 years?
No.
That's
I don't think I
required.
could turn it on. I'd be like, why is there so many colors on here? Yeah.
Now there was a business calculator that I used, and I've used it once or twice for calculating interest, but that's not a TI-84. It's like a TI-30 something. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the 84s now. We had to get a little that from the other kid. Hey, before we end though, we haven't talked. We talked a lot of politics, a lot of all kinds of other stuff. We got to talk a little bit about sports.
Yes.
This damn baseball thing is making me very.
Stop it! Stop it right now! You're messing with me. Stop it!
It
We
makes
know
me.
that baseball's not a sport, so if you want to keep talking about something and you want to call it baseball,
wants to make me.
It's not a damn
So
sport.
springtime to me is baseball. There's spring training, and then there's baseball, and then there's March Madness, and then there's,
But baseball's not a sport.
I'm not going to talk to you.
Yes.
I'm not talking.
He's gonna ride this out for a long time. I was trying to have a conversation in the office, and the guy talked about sports, and he's like, "I have a serious question to ask you. Is baseball a sport?" I'm like,
It's a competition. It's not a sport. But okay, if you would like to talk about the competition of baseball, please proceed.
Competition.
So for our tens of listeners out there,
So wait, so conflict or war? What are we in right now in Ukraine?
We ain't in shit.
What are we talking
Russia
about?
and Ukraine are in a war.
A war or conflict?
They are in a war.
All right, then baseball's a sport. Continue.
I don't see how that relates to each other, but I'm not talking about baseball. You were.
So
Talk
hopefully,
about the competitive, the competition of baseball, please.
So there's a lockout between the players and the owners, right? spring training was supposed to have already been started. Pitchers, catchers, everything's supposed to be in. This is preseason for the NFL. This is the preseason for MLB, right?
Question.
Yes.
Question. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt. Question though. Hasn't this already happened once in history in like the 90s or something?
Yeah, 94.
Oh,
94 was strike. Well,
okay. That's what I thought. So how's the end?
I don't. The rich get richer. I don't know how it really ends. Timmy, I mean, I know you're really upset. Can you come back to us, please? Please
No,
rescue
I
us.
mean, he's gonna keep cutting me off. I don't want to. Man, I'm passionate about baseball. Baseball, like Tigers have, they've been terrible for many, many years. We're starting to get better. The Braves just won the World Series, and
Go Braves. That's my team.
but it goes with like when March Madness got canceled 2 years ago. I didn't know what to do. It's just that time of year is my favorite time of year. Is when March Madness is going on, baseball's getting started up. You've got NHL playoffs starting. I'm not a big NBA guy, so I'm not gonna say that, but I mean the playoffs kind of start for that. There's a like 3-week period before summer starts where there's like a lot going on as far as viewing sports entertainment. I don't watch a lot of other stuff. I'm not watching the debates or your guys' what do you guys call it when Biden was on last? I don't watch that stuff but it's just, and it's this one. I blame the damn commissioner. He fired his number 2 guy, and then he goes in there and now they want to push. The baseball owners are making a ton of damn money. We've had COVID for the last 2 years. Let's play some baseball. Come on, can we? They can get through this.
Yeah, we just want to see some baseball for the love of the game, just for the love of the game.
I mean, you know that the WWE Hall of Fame is in April.
Yeah,
So
I got a phone
really
call about wrestling today, and one of our listeners was like, "I am the biggest wrestling fan. Just want you to know."
Rhodes,
Even though he's small in stature,
Ronald Rhodes, yeah,
he is the biggest wrestling fan out there that I know.
Yeah, his brother was a professional wrestler for a while.
He was. He wrestled at a few local armories.
Was it the small people?
No,
wrestling?
his brother's a lot bigger than him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just
his
was
little
curious.
brother towers over
His
him.
brother's regular size.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's like,
I don't know what the word is. Little people. I didn't know he's a little people wrestling.
It's like Rhodes' mom got a choice. You wanted that small, me, or large? She said small. Love that guy.
She said not that small.
Yeah. You want a
Yeah,
super
little
size? Wow. Good show tonight. I know we're over an hour, and I'm sure all 3 of us feel like we could continue this on for I believe this is one of our highlights of the week. I really appreciate getting an event and having an outlet and just talking and acting a fool. So hopefully, the length won't deter any of our listeners. Just want to not close it out with some words of wisdom, but just do my weekly thing. And we started off this show about helping other veterans, and I think my words of wisdom for the month is basically about doing good to other people. Don't shy away from helping someone. I do feel if you see a need and you have the abilities to fill that need, you should probably do it. To a certain limitation, yes. But if you have the means and you've been blessed, no, you shouldn't have any hesitation to take care of that need. A few quotes I have is, do everything with a good heart, expect nothing in return. You will never be disappointed. No one is useless in this world who lightens the burden of another person. You've not lived today until you've done something for someone who can never repay you, which is big. And I think our goals is, if we continue this on and we touch a few people out there and we can help us, we teach that person, to help someone else, and that person helps them, and that's how it grows. That's how our small little circle, how we've operated. I believe we all we have, if we could say, hey, who's our friends, who's going to be, I'm calling from jail, or who's going to be in jail with me. We have a few that would fit into that mold, and those people probably have some more and some more and some more. So you see how that circle can grow. So, if anyone's listening out there and they may have we're in the age of the Vietnam veterans, our parents or uncles and grandparents or World War II, Korea veterans. If you have a question about, something about their service or benefits or anything, maybe we can assist with or put you in touch, definitely let us know, because it's really not, it's not like it's a burden on us. I don't think anyone would take it as a burden, because the information is literally at the touch of our fingers and figuring stuff out, or asking someone else. So, yep, that's my words of wisdom is,
Well, let me
help.
say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this about your words of wisdom. That's one thing I respect and admire about both you guys, right? Is you both are, ever since the day that I've met you, done more than anything that's required of you to help other people. And I mean, that's both y'all. Like, you don't do it for the recognition. You don't do it for anything other than the goodness out of your heart. And I know I'm one of many people that appreciate you guys, and you dudes are awesome, man. And
You're the same way though, Brian.
in a
You
way
both-
that I would not share a hot tub with you, but you're awesome dudes.
No,
It wasn't
I-
a hot tub. It was a hot pool. Let's get it
yeah.
right.
Okay.
And
so-
I consider it selfish. I mean, I get more out of helping somebody out than actually helping them. So, and again, at night I'm sleeping well and feel good about it. So, and you guys do that too. I mean, you guys just have more knowledge.
Well,
No, you're awesome, buddy. Both of you are. But I mean, and that's all seriousness, man. That's one of the things I have always respected and admired about both y'all. And that's serious, during your words of wisdom. Serious stuff, man. You guys are both great at being selfless and looking out for other people. So I appreciate you. Sure, many other people do too.
Yeah. And another thing I think carries a long way is follow up, right? If you're committed to helping somebody, and you're, granted, he or she may not know anything, and shoot them a text. Hey, you done this? You done that? What's going on? And we all have our own sniff test. Sometimes it just doesn't smell right. It's just be like, are you sure? Let's check this out. And something, we're in a electronic world, and boxes get checked, and papers don't get submitted, and you can look stuff up and share passwords and be like, let me take a look at this. So, if you're committed to help somebody, at least do some due diligence and follow up, but know when to cut bait, because people are never, if you can't you gotta know when it's time to stop. You've
Don't lose
done all you
sleep.
can do.
It sounds like a Kenny Chesney song. You got to know when to hold them.
That's Kenny Rogers.
Oh, my bad.
That may be the best part of this whole show.
We're clipping that shit, right?
Because he was like
Whoever.
Kenny Chesney, and I was like, no, that's Kenny Rogers, buddy. But,
All right, so you're right. Didn't know that, but thanks for your words of wisdom. I do need to say we're on Twitter though. 2 Hicks 1 Yankee.
we are. Yep. What else?
Next time we post a poll.
Yeah, on YouTube, 2 Hicks, 1. Again, the 2 and the 1 is the number, and everything else.
Yeah. The next Twitter poll was, who's the better country singer, Kenny Chesney or Kenny Rogers?
I'll post it tomorrow.
Hey, Brian, real quick before we get off, has your mustache always gone like that? I mean, you kind of got it. Yeah, it's starting to grow in. It's only been what, 2 years, but it's
I haven't
starting.
shaved in 2.5 years. I
Well, I got the
retired
handlebar
2.5 years ago.
started.
Didn't I look this good last week?
Yeah. We video chatted today, and Brian was like, "Man, you look like your brother with that beard." And I ain't shaved in 3 days,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Man, you know," and I was like, he's like, "You like mine? You like mine?" I was like, "Well, you've been 3 years." He's like, "Yep, never
2.5, 2.5, and it grows just like this. Like I have not touched a razor. 2.5.
You've got it coming down now. I like it coming down. You almost look like an Oakland A's player with that hat on too. Just so you
Which? Oh no, my team, baby, Panthers. Team.
Trivia question, Brian. Name one Atlanta Braves player.
know. No, Oakland A's or
No,
Atlanta
he
Braves.
said his Atlanta Braves was his
Oh,
favorite
Braves,
team.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
with
David Justice.
current from the
Why do you,
World
the only
Series.
reason he knows him. The only reason he knows him is because he was dating.
He was married to Halle Berry.
Yes, that's the only reason you know.
He was on the Oakland A's though.
Yeah, he was. It was in the movie.
Let's see. Hold on. I'll tell you another player. Mark McGuire.
No.
Shit.
Dale Murphy.
Ron Gant.
Yeah, he was a former Brave.
Told you.
Former. And we're talking about. You said World Series champion.
I'm shocked.
my
That you came
favorite
up.
team.
How did you come up with that name? Just
Ron
Yeah,
Gant?
Ron Gant.
Because I
That's
played the MLB baseball on the Sega Genesis.
I was gonna say that's a weird name to come up with.
He was like the person I would hit the home runs with on the Sega Genesis when I would
Oh, yeah.
play it. So no, I can't tell you a current Braves player, but that's my team.
And the best you came up with was Davis Justice.
Yeah, David Justice, he's the best player ever played for Braves.
All right. So I'm requesting for 2 Twitter polls. One is who's the better country, Kenny Rogers or Chesney,
Yes.
and 2 is baseball a sport. I'm asking you to define what a sport is clarified as, so we can.
You said sport or
Competition. It's a
Yeah,
competition.
please.
That's why I was going with the Ukraine conflict or war. It was kind of like, is it a conflict or a war? Same as competition.
No,
or
it's
sport.
not. No. Nowhere near the same. Nowhere near the same. You're looking at me like you want to answer.
Me.
Yeah. That's
I
what
know.
you're-
I mean, I'm looking at the clock and we're
we
But
can't.
No, we're
I-
not. I think this is gonna. We're cutting this out. I mean, I think
You're gonna
right?
have to. We're gonna have
Yeah.
to.
So,
You
and I'll do.
Can we
this.
just split it in 2?
Brian, I got this part. Real quick. So it's Thursday's our thing, or is it Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
No, next week.
Next week.
Thursday.
Life
I'm
thing's
stopping.
Thursday.